What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Five Field channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on the Miami Dolphins. Man, it's the same movie every year. The Miami Dolphins give their fan base the same exact movie every single year. It's either they start off great in the beginning of the season and they collapse at the end of the season, or they start off in putrid fashion in the beginning of the season. They win a couple games in a row in the middle of the season to make you believe going into December, and they break your hearts. That's exactly what they did this season. Start off the year 1-6, get absolutely embarrassed by the Cleveland Browns this year, blow a game to the Carolina Panthers, blow a game with 40 seconds to go to the LA Chargers. They win 5 out of 6. They look fantastic. They get to 6-7 after starting the year 1-6. There's hope. There's belief going into this game. And we get here tonight. I don't even care about the playoffs. I didn't care about the playoffs going into it. This was all about breaking narratives and giving the fan base confidence for the future. And wouldn't you know it, Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel, they pooped down their leg in the big game once again. I want to tell you some stats. Before we get into the actual stats of the game, I want to tell you some stats in this game. In the first half and by the third quarter, the Miami Dolphins had negative 20 yards in the third quarter. They had negative offensive yardage in the third quarter. The worst under Mike McDaniel. The Dolphins ran 19 plays of offense in the first quarter, in the first half, and only got 3 points. That's not going to win you a game. The Miami Dolphins only ran the ball with Devon Achane 8 times in the first half. And he only got 12 rushes tonight. They had to go away from the running game. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. The reason you've been winning games is because you've been running the football. And you've been able to successfully run the football. And the Steelers don't have Derek Harmon. The Steelers don't have TJ Watt in this game. And you still don't run the ball. That interception by Tua Tagovailoa was so disgusting. There's absolutely no zip on his passes whatsoever. He's throwing hospital balls to his receivers. He's throwing lollipops to defensive players. He now leads the league in interceptions, by the way. 15 interceptions this season. That leads the league. The Miami Dolphins are mediocre. Let's just call it what it is. The Miami Dolphins are mediocre. And they did the same thing last year. They got a win over a team which you didn't expect them to do. Last year they beat the Rams. This year they beat the Bills. They string together a couple of wins in a row against bad competition. They beat the Commanders. They beat the Saints. They beat the Jets. Now we get a step up in competition, and they poop down their pants against the Steelers. And they were still in it going into halftime. It was only 7-3. The defense was balling. And I'm like, if the fucking defense gives up a touchdown to start the second half, this game's over. Because Mike's going to get away from the run. You got to win with Tua's arm. And did that happen? Of course it fucking didn't happen. He pooped down his leg, took sacks. You know it's bad when it's 3rd and 2 and he's got to slide and he doesn't get the first down, and then we punt. It's funny, man. And it's the same result every year. It's mediocrity. This is what we get with Tua Tagovailoa and Mike McDaniel. And I don't want to hear anybody defending Mike McDaniel after this season that, oh, he got the players to fight for him. At 1-6, they were fighting for their head coach. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that sorry-ass excuse. He's a bad coach. He can't win in big games. He doesn't adjust at all against good teams. And he gets out-coached. Tonight, he got out-coached by Mike Tomlin. He got out-coached by the Steelers coaching staff. Tua Tagovailoa, when we needed him, down 14-3, down 21-3, he doesn't come through. He gets sacked. He holds on to the ball for too long. And I'm on board with most Dolphins fans at the end of the season. I'm on the Quinn Ewers train for the rest of the season. Fuck it. Fuck it. Let's see what we got in Quinn Ewers. Because I've had it with Tua. I have had it with Tua Tagovailoa this season. I've had it with Mike McDaniel. We need a new voice. This team, once again, got out-physicaled. That Saturday practice in the snow, hey, at least we got to have a showcase where we practice in the snow on Saturday in Pittsburgh. That sure helped the team. That sure helped the team prepare for a cold weather game. Unfucking believable, man. Unbelievable. Quarterback does this every time he goes in the cold. Late in the year. Comes up short. The Steelers were up 28-3 in the fourth quarter. And you know what makes this loss worse? Is the players that we traded away actually played really good tonight. And that Jonnu Smith rushing touchdown was a statement. And that's rubbing it in. Which I'm not going to give credit to the Steelers. They're playing their game. They good for them. They're probably going to be in the playoffs. I think they're going to win the AFC North at this point. But they've barely used Jonnu Smith this season. And they made a statement with giving him the ball on a rushing touchdown. Jalen Ramsey makes a big sack, blitzing Tua Tagovailoa. He's yelling at the camera. I don't know if he said he weak as fuck or they weak as fuck. To me, it sounded like he said they weak as fuck. And he's not wrong. He is not wrong. This team is weak. This team has no toughness in them. This team is not physical. And quite frankly, we got fooled as Dolphins fans these last 3 games. We got fooled. Or 4 games. They looked awesome against Buffalo. Great. I'm not gonna take that away from them. But Washington, New Orleans, the Jets, we were fooled with those games. And we barely beat Washington and we barely beat the Saints. And I never thought playoffs was a realistic possibility because you start off the season 1-6. But it's another year of same old Dolphins, same old Mike McDaniel, same old Tua Tagovailoa. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm going to read you the stats of the game. And the final score is 28-15 Steelers, by the way. don't think it was a close game. This game was not close. This game was a complete one-sided game dominated by the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you know? The Dolphins get dominated in cold weather once again. The Steelers were up 28-3 with 13 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The Dolphins had 93 yards of offense. 93 yards. That's it. How pathetic. How pathetic is that? Tua Tagovailoa, before he started throwing the ball down 25 points in garbage time, 6 of 10, 65 yards, and an interception. Which, by the way, he's getting paid $212 million. Don't tell me he's the franchise quarterback. He's not. And listen, this is the last thing I'll say before we get into stats and we get into the game. Tua's owing a lot of money next season. I understand that. And I don't think anybody in the league is going to want him and want to take on that contract. So, as much as it sucks to say, he's probably on this team next year. But that doesn't mean he's the starting quarterback. If I'm Ross, if I'm the new general manager, whoever they get, which now the season's over, we got these 3 games left, and it's time, the offseason starts now. These 3 games, they don't mean anything for the Dolphins. The offseason starts now. The general manager, the search for that general manager starts now. This is what I'll say before we get into stats and the game. Tua Tagovailoa is probably going to be on this team next year because of his ridiculous contract that we paid him, and we owe him too much money next season. And if we trade him or if we release him, the cap hit is going to be huge. Detrimental to the Dolphins. But that does not mean this team does not have to go and draft a quarterback in the draft. I'm not saying they don't have to draft one in the first round, but draft one in the second round, draft one in the third round, sign a veteran quarterback in the offseason, and have an open competition between whoever they sign in free agency or whoever they draft and Tua Tagovailoa. I am not handing over the keys to Tua once again after the season he's having. It's not good enough. And going into the season, we said one of the main things that we need out of him is we need him to stay healthy. We said if he's healthy, this team is a playoff team. Well, he's been healthy all year. He hasn't missed a game yet. And we are sitting here at week 15, 6-8, and eliminated from the playoffs. So, that's with a healthy Tua. With the healthy Tua Tagovailoa, we are 6-8, and we are eliminated from the playoffs. 3 weeks to go. This guy is not the franchise quarterback. He is not the guy. You have to move on. It is time. He's probably going to be here next year, but after next year, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Got to move forward. Can't take this anymore. All right. Let's get into stats. Again, Dolphins lose to the Steelers 28-15. This game was not close. This game was exactly like the Green Bay game last year. Packers, although it was kind of different because the Packers, they got out to such a big lead in the first half. The second half didn't matter. This game was close going into the second half. But the Steelers scored a touchdown, 14-3. I'm like, this game's wraps. This game was, for me, this game was wraps. at 14-3. So, we'll start with the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa, 22 of 28, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Most of those yards, 188 of those yards, came in garbage time. You want to know what his real stats were when the game actually mattered? Before it was 28-3, 6 of 10, 65 yards, and 1 interception. That's his real stats of the game. Devon Achane, 12 carries, 60 yards. The team only ran the ball 16 times tonight. That's on Mike McDaniel. And he got away from the run in the first half. Talk about that when we talk about the game play by play. Devon Achane, 6 catches, 67 yards. Darren Waller, 7 catches, 66 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Greg Dulcich, 2 catches for 46 yards. Jalen Waddle, a complete non-factor in this game, by the way. 2 catches for 25 yards. And Julian Hill had 2 catches for 25 yards. On defense, Jordan Brooks led the team in tackles. He had 1 sack. Zeke Biggers had a sack. Zach Sealer had a sack. And they got 3 sacks on Aaron Rodgers in this game. Aaron Rodgers, second week in a row, he's played really well for Pittsburgh. 23 of 27, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns. Steelers were able to run the ball tonight on the Dolphins. 135 rushing yards as a team. Kenneth Gainwell had 13 carries for 80 yards. Jaylen Warren had 12 catches for 33 yards. And just to rub it in, Jonnu Smith had 1 carry for 14 yards and a touchdown. DK Metcalf had 3 catches for 55 yards and a touchdown. Kenneth Gainwell, 7 catches, 46 yards. Pat Freiermuth, 3 catches, 45 yards. Darnell Washington, 3 catches, 25 yards. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 1 catch, 19 yards, and a touchdown. Asante Samuel Jr. had the interception for the Steelers against Tua. Jalen Ramsey with a sack. Cameron Hayward with a sack. Peyton Wilson with a sack. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce this dude's name. I don't know. 4 sacks on Tua Tagovailoa for the Steelers defense. Okay, so let's get into this. This game was very, very boring early on. The Dolphins, they won the toss and they won the ball, which they did that last week and it worked. They did that this week and it did not work. Dolphins got the ball first. Bootleg pass to Julian Hill for 20 yards. A screen to Achane goes back for 1. Devon Achane runs for 4 yards and then incomplete to Darren Waller. First drive of the game. 3 passes, 1 run. That drive set the tone for the entire night. Steelers got the ball. They went 3 and out. 3rd and 8, Rodgers to Kenneth Gainwell for 7 yards. Nice group tackling by Rasul Douglas and Jordan Brooks. Dolphins on the next drive. Devon Achane, 6 yards. Devon Achane again for 15 yards. 1st and 10, Tua to Jalen Waddle, middle of the field for 10. And then the next play, Devon Achane. I think that this was supposed to be a run, but Devon Achane had an issue with his shoe, so he had to go out the game. Ollie Gordon comes in. They call a pass play And Tua throws an absolute duck in the hands of Asante Samuel Jr. And this is where you know that this guy does not have the arm strength. This guy cannot play in the cold weather. I saw a picture on Twitter where Jalen Waddle was actually wide open on this play. And if Tua zips it to him, he gets big amount of yardage. And he leaves it in the air forever. And Samuel has the time to just come over. Boop. Ridiculous. Horrible, horrible throw by a $212 million quarterback. Steelers go 13 plays, 39 yards. Let's go 22 yards to DK Metcalf on 2nd and 10. And they go for it on 4th and 3. Rodgers to Kenneth Gainwell. And on 3rd and 11 at the Dolphins' 33-yard line, the Dolphins defense is able to push them out of field goal range with a sack by Jordan Brooks. Really nice play on there by Brooks. Dolphins go 5 plays, 15 yards. They got a first down. Got something stuck in my mouth there. I'm sorry. They got a first down to Darren Waller, and they go 3 and out. 3rd and 2. I'm like, I will bet you the house they're throwing the ball on 3rd and 2. That's exactly what they did. Achane got them to 3rd and 2. And instead of just running the ball, he has fucking Tua drop back. Tua has to run, and he slides a yard before the marker, and then they fucking punt. Are you fucking kidding me? Number one, why would you punt on that situation? And number two, this just goes to prove how unathletic Tua is, that on 3rd and 2, he can't pick up 2 yards with his fucking legs. Nearly every quarterback makes that play. Aaron Rodgers makes that play. Tua Tagovailoa cannot. He's the most unathletic quarterback in the NFL. Pittsburgh goes 3 and out after a 3rd down sack by Zach Sealer. The Dolphins go 7 plays, 33 yards. 3rd and 6. Tua Tagovailoa rolls out. He gets a 24-yard pass to Devon Achane, his best play of the game by far. And we get a 4-yard run by Ollie Gordon, a 5-yard run by Achane, and then 3rd and 1, Ollie Gordon comes in. Everybody and their mother knows Ollie Gordon's getting this football. And Patrick Queen comes in untouched. And thank goodness for Riley Patterson, because he nails a 54-yard field goal right down the middle. Your Dolphins are up 3-0. That didn't last for long, though. Patterson, after making his career long, he lands short at the kicking zone. So the Steelers get the ball at their own 40. And first play, Aaron Rodgers hooks it up to Jonnu Smith for 10 yards. 2nd and 7. Rodgers to Darnell Washington for 13 yards. Rodgers to Kenneth Gainwell for 10 yards. So they're just methodically moving. 3rd and 1. No gain. And on 4th and 1, they do the tush push with Connor Hayward. And he gets the first down. Rodgers to Kenneth Gainwell for 10 yards. And then we get a face mask penalty called on Jordan Brooks. Moves up the Steelers further. They stop Jalen Warren twice. Third down, they do the tush push with Connor Hayward for a touchdown. And it's 7-3. And what I hated was after the face mask call, the Dolphins call timeout. And they burned their timeouts. I'm like, so you're going to allow them to just absolutely drain the clock down? Give you no time when you know they get the ball first to start the second half. That's just piss poor clock management by Mike McDaniel. So, the Steelers go up 7-3 at halftime. So it's 7-3. I'm like, all right. Dolphins, they've only had 19 plays on offense. They've only scored 3 points the entire half. But despite that touchdown drive, they are still in this game. As long as the defense doesn't give up a touchdown on the opening drive, we're still in the game. Steelers get the ball to start the second half, and they immediately go down and get a touchdown. 3.5 minutes, 6 plays, 71 yards. First down, Kenneth Gainwell for 38 yards, where Ashton Davis absolutely whiffs on this play. Piss poor tackling by him. He probably had his worst game of the season as a Miami Dolphin. Really bad game for him. Gainwell for 3. They just run it down our throats that drive, and it sets up a wide open touchdown to Marquez Valdez-Scantling, which was blown coverage by Ifeatu Melifonwu. So now, the Steelers are up 14-3, and this is why I feared the Steelers going down and getting a touchdown, because you get the Dolphins down by 2 possessions, you're going to throw them off their game plan. Mike's going to want to throw the ball. He's going to get away from the run. That's exactly what happened. No gain on the play for Achane. Tua to Alec Ingle for 4 yards. And what happens on the next play? Here comes Jalen Ramsey with a blitz right down the middle. Nobody picks it up, and he takes a sack. Steelers go 10 plays, 77 yards. Easy play. Too many men on the field for the Dolphins, which was absolutely ridiculous. This is the one complaint I will have with the officials tonight. Absolutely ridiculous that 3rd and 4, you try to get the playoff, which you did. And initially, they didn't call the flag. And then 45 seconds later, they throw the fucking flag and call 12 men on the field. What kind of horse shit is that? Make the call early or don't make it at all. Don't throw it a minute after the play is over. Kenneth Gainwell for 9 yards. Kenneth Gainwell for another 9 yards. Kenneth Gainwell for 5 yards. 3rd and 5, Rodgers to Freiermuth for 16. They're just doing whatever they want at this point. And then 3rd and 12. I mean, I thought the game was over at 14-3. this was really the dagger, though. 3rd and 12. Rodgers. So much wrong happened in this play. First of all, they get a 28-yard touchdown to DK Metcalf. But, okay. First of all, in this particular play, you just want to get a stop. You just want to force them to kick a field goal to keep yourself in the game. Ashton Davis dives for the ball, completely whiffs again. So that's a first down. And then he pushes Minkah Fitzpatrick, and he shrugs off Jordan Brooks, and he gets in the end zone. That was really, you could put the game to bed at that point. But, man, just an absolutely embarrassing play for the Dolphins defense. The Dolphins' next drive ends with a sack once again. What do you know? And then the Steelers, they go down 9 plays, 81 yards. They're just gashing them on the ground again. Gainwell, Warren, Jordan Brooks gets called with taunting on 3rd and 8, which I know it's weak. That's a weak call, I know. But, brother, your team is down 21-3. Why are you taunting the other team? Jordan Brooks is a captain on this team. He shouldn't be making stupid errors like that. Just stupid. It's just stupid mindset. Freiermuth for 22 yards on 1st and 15. And then they get 1st and goal at the Miami 14. Toss right to Jonnu Smith. Touchdown. And they did that to make a statement, I feel like, to the Dolphins about Jonnu Smith. And it's funny because they haven't used him all year. And now all of a sudden, this game, they get him a rushing play, and he goes in untouched. And you know who misses the tackle? Ashton Davis. So, I mean, I don't care about the 4th quarter. I'm not even going over these drives. The Dolphins got 2 touchdowns. Both of them were touchdown passes to Darren Waller in the back of the end zone both times. And they both failed. They failed twice on the 2-point conversion. I don't care. I'm not going over the drives. That's your game. That's your ball game. Season's over. The little hope you had going into the playoffs, crushed. I'm just looking to see Mike McDaniel and Darren Waller. I should have gotten him involved earlier. No fucking shit, you clown. That's what he's there for. He's a big body receiver. I'm just looking to see what's going on in the post game. But I'm going to make a video tomorrow, and I'm going to talk about like players that this team should build around for next season, because I'm telling you guys right now, this team should look very different next year. If this owner has a clue, you're going to see a lot of new faces next year. And status quo is not acceptable. As Ross said last year, status quo was status quo. We're running it back with status quo. We're running it back with McDaniel. We're running it back with Greer. At least you fired Greer. That's one good thing you did. Yeah, I'm going to make a video tomorrow about who you need to build this team around going into next season. But I don't even care about the playoffs. I don't care about being eliminated. This team was not making the playoffs. But to have a game that was meaningful, this was legitimately your one meaningful game this season late in the year. And you blew it. And you pooped down your pants as usual in classic Miami Dolphins fashion. And, it sucks. And we're used to it as Dolphins fans. And now we got 3 games left. Who gives a shit about any of these games coming up? The off season starts now. And you got to get ready for next year and the years beyond. And I'm telling you right now, it might not. Is it going to happen? We'll see. I won't put it in doubt, but this team cannot run it back with Tua and Mike McDaniel in the future, because if they do, they're going to be right back in the same spot. And it's disappointing. It's disappointing. So that's all I got. I got nothing left in the tank. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll talk about players this team needs to build around for next year. Dolphins lose 28-15. They fall to 6-8 on the season. And that's all I got. Peace.